First of all, I would like to thank my parents, the Almighty, and my teacher, guide, and philosopher BALALATHA madam. Without her, my success would not have been possible. And more than that, not just because I have cleared this exam, I am happy, but I am happy because this exam, the result has proved that my hard work was in the right direction. So that actually gave me the confidence. More than clearing the exam, I am happy because the 2 years I was in so much uncertainty whether my efforts were going in the right direction or not. But still, I believed on my hard work and was moving forward. So with this result, I was happy that my efforts came true, right? And I also feel not only happy but also responsible because this is such a big, I feel like it's a big responsibility on my shoulders, and I will try my level best to keep it up. So coming to the strategy, integrated approach is something which I followed. Like, to start with my introduction, I did my schooling in Timpani School in Visakhapatnam. I was completely brought up in Visakhapatnam, and I did my intermediate as usually like everyone in Narayana Junior College, +1 and +2. And after that, I hope my voice is audible, guys. My voice is audible, right? Yeah. So after that, I have done my BTech in IIT Bombay in mechanical engineering, and I was a pass out in 2017. After passing out, uh, I have worked in Tata Steel for 1 year as a management trainee, and I've quit my job in the year 2018 in the month of June and came to Hyderabad for coaching. I took my complete coaching in Hyderabad only. For 1 year, I've taken coaching and I've given this exam. Right, so this is about my journey. So this is my first serious attempt towards UPSC. I tried to give my best. And for mains and interview preparation, BALALATHA madam has given me the guidance and coaching. It was very useful for me. In fact, without her, it would not have been possible for me to do it in the very first attempt itself. So her guidance actually helped me a lot as to what to include, what to exclude, and all the stuff. Madam was very much helping me, which areas I need to focus and all those. Especially the mock interviews which madam has conducted with the panel, I was exposed to a lot of quality questions. In fact, some of the questions got repeated in my main interview also. So that actually helped me a lot. Coming to the strategy of mine, my strategy is simple. It is integrated approach. Meaning, as soon as I started prelims preparation, from then itself, I was trying to write mains answers also, as much as possible. Right? That actually helps you to increase your speed, to increase your presentation skills and your accuracy, right? So that is something which I suggest to you also. When you're going for PCM courses offered by institutes, don't just prepare in the prelims perspective. My advice, my suggestion is right from the very beginning or after 1 or 1.5 months, just try to start writing as many answers as possible. 4 answers per day or 5 answers per day. And in fact, faculties also suggest you to write 1 question or 2 questions, right? After every class, they will be leaving you with 1 or 2 mains questions. Just try to write them and show the faculty. This will not help you in prelims, but this will definitely help you after prelims, your mains preparation. Because after prelims, you have hardly 2.5 months. Trust me, guys, with someone whose first attempt he has cleared the prelims, for that person, it's very difficult to manage everything in 2.5 months after prelims because it is his first attempt. So in such a scenario, preparing for mains, even right from the prelims preparation itself, will help you. Right? So this is integrated approach, guys. That's what I tried to follow. Prelims at the same time mains also. And integrated approach also in GS papers also. Don't read topics as this is GS1, so only for GS1, this is for GS2. Don't read like that. Try to connect one issue to various possible dimensions. A topic in GS1 can also be used as an example in GS4. A topic in GS2 can also be connected to GS3. So in this way, try to read every topic in all the perspectives. Don't read it in GS dimensions. So if there is a quotation of Gandhi, that can be used in ethics paper, that can be used in essay paper, and that can also be used, if possible, in GS2 paper also. if there are any questions about local bodies, we can use Gandhi's quotations there related to panchayats, right? Related to self-reliant India. So in this way, try to connect all the things, guys. GS1 into GS2, GS2 into GS3, right? Keep some examples. Try to use those examples in as many dimensions as possible. Try to use the tribals issue topic in GS1. Try to use the same topic in essay. Try to use it in GS4 also. So in this way, there is no rule that this topic is fixed to GS1 or this topic is fixed to GS2, right? So the name itself says it is general studies. The name itself says it is general studies. The topics are very general and we can use them wherever possible, right? So this is one thing I need to do. And optional, my optional is public administration. So I was in a very much dilemma whether to take PubAd or not when I was selecting my optional, because the success ratio of PubAd was less. The sources were also less, in fact. But still, PubAd is something which was very much interesting to me. So when choosing your optional also, try to make a balance between your interest and the scoring potential of that optional. Keep these two things in your mind. Don't simply pick up an optional just because you find it interesting or just because you find it easy to study. Also think whether that particular optional has a scoring potential or not in the mains. And other thing is, are there enough resources for that optional? Just try to go through this also, because some of my friends have taken Telugu as optional and they were facing some difficulties because they could not get a proper guidance, right? So this should not be the case, and keep these three things in matter when you're choosing optional. And also, while if you're switching your optionals also, just be careful, because this optional consumes a lot of time. It consumes a lot of time, and this is 2 papers in mains, right? So this is very much fetching. And overall, as essay, GS4 and optional papers, these 3 are the game changers, guys. These 3 papers are the game changers. GS1, 2, 3, in and around everyone will be answering the questions. Your essay, your GS4 and your optional. These 3 papers marks will matter a lot. So just try to give focus on these 3. And optional also, one strategy which worked for me is for public administration, using paper 1 topics in paper 2 and using paper 2 topics in paper 1. Right? This was something which was useful to me. In PubAd, paper 1 is about all the theories of various philosophers and researchers in public administration. Paper 2 is about Indian administration. So whenever there is a question about any thinkers in the paper 1, I used to cite Indian administration examples also. In the same way, when they have asked any question about Indian administration in paper 2, I tried to connect a topic related to paper 1 in that answer in paper 2. Right? This also tells the evaluator that you are able to connect very effectively what you are studying, and that also makes your answer something special. So this is one suggestion which I am giving you. And coming to approach, as we have already discussed, my approach is zero tolerance policy, right? We have already discussed about this. And balance between hard work and smart work, that is important, because there is a myth that we have to study as many number of hours as possible for UPSC cracking the civils exam. So even I also thought the same when I was getting into this UPSC civils preparation, but the result which I got, that actually told me that, okay, it's not that you need to study 16 to 18 hours. You can do it if you study 10 hours pakka every day. Every day 10 hours. I used to study every day 10 hours, guys. So that actually, with this result, even I believed in myself that we can do it in 10 to 11 hours if we study. It's just a simple logic. Take a week, take 7 days. It's better to read 6 hours every day rather than studying so much for 2 to 3 days and then getting that tiredness for the next 3 days. That is not the correct way. Right? Try to study how many hours as possible. It varies for every individual. So how many hours you can study, just find that out, and those particular hours you have to study for sure every day, right? So that is very effective. That is very effective. Just imagine for 6 days in a week, You are studying 9 hours every day. It is 54 hours of effective preparation. That is far better than studying 18 hours per day for 3 days and getting fatigue for the next 3 days. So this I am suggesting because even I also have tried studying for 14 to 16 hours. That actually did not work for me. So again, I came back to 10 hours per day and it actually worked for me, right? So this is one suggestion I want to give you: hard work and also smart work. What to study, what to leave, what are the good sources, right? Try to get the best from every source. Current affairs, what are the best sources for you? Find them out, right? GS1, what are the best sources for you? Something best in the market may not be that much comfortable for you. You find out what is best for you. What is best for GS1? What is best for GS2? Which one are you understanding? Are you comfortable with videos, or are you comfortable with studying, or are you comfortable with online content? Just find it out. Which is comfortable to you, just go through that path, right? So smart work is also equally important. And also for first attempters, for those who are giving this first attempt, it is time management is very much important, right? Because compared to the other people who are giving their second or third or fourth, comparatively we will be having a less knowledge base and less time. We need to revise more in less time. So effective time management is something very much important. So yeah, that is one thing. And for those who are giving prelims this year in the October, we hardly have 2 months for that. So in these 2 months, one suggestion or which worked for me actually when I was giving prelims in 2019 is, in the last 2 months, I did not study any new topics. I was doing only 2 things. One is revision, revising as much portion as possible. That is the first thing. Second thing is practicing as many questions as possible. These are the 2 things which I was doing for the last 2 months before prelims exam. My prelims was in June 5th. So May and April, I was doing this. I stopped writing answers for mains. My only focus was revising as much syllabus as possible and practicing as many questions as possible. Test series. We have different test series. Just explore those test series. Why I am saying this is, in the last 2 months, that is very crucial time, because one fact about civil services examination is no one can completely finish the syllabus. This is for sure. Everyone knows that no one can completely finish the syllabus because this is a C. This is a vast syllabus, right? So no one can complete the syllabus. What we have to do is try to be strong at how much syllabus as possible. It's 60%, that 60% we have to be sure. If any question comes from that 60% of the syllabus, pakka we have to be answer that. We have to be in a position, if question comes from our domain, we have to answer it for sure. Right? This is something which we have to work upon. Don't struggle for finishing the syllabus. Rather, try to put efforts on revising things. Right? So if you are comfortable with only 70% of the portion, make sure you are so much strong in that 70% of the portion, right? The next 30% we can manage it, right? Don't ever feel that I did not touch polity or I did not touch some topics in geography. Or one common thing is ancient India and medieval India, I could not study properly. This is a common problem which first attempters will have. Even I had the same problem for ancient India and medieval India. So then, rather than focusing more on ancient and medieval, focus on all the things. I focused on all the things which I was strong at: polity, economy, current affairs, environment. I revised these like anything. And at the same time, for ancient and medieval India, I watched videos and I solved questions, right? One part is revision, the next part is solve as many questions as possible. So when I was solving the questions, then itself I used to revise and study about ancient Indian, medieval India topics also. So that's how prelims worked for me, guys. Right? When I gave the prelims, according to the keys in the markets, I was getting around 110. So the final marks we will be knowing in the coming days. Still not yet released by the UPSC. Right? So this is everything. Book list, I will be sharing it in a few days. So right now I'm still preparing the book list. First topic is criminalization of politics. So there was a recent Supreme Court judgment about criminalization of politics in the month of February. So this judgment is very important because even previously also we had judgments about criminalization of politics. But this judgment is important because it has kept a new condition, a new mandatory condition for the political parties. What was it? Now, if a particular political party will give the party ticket to any person who has criminal background, right? If any political party is giving a party ticket or candidature to any person who is having criminal record, then Supreme Court said it is mandatory for that party to explain why that person was selected, right? It is mandatory for the political party to explain why that particular candidate was selected, right? So this is a new rule that was brought by Supreme Court. This was not there before. Previously, the Supreme Court judgment said just project or just show all the criminal cases on the candidates. That's what Supreme Court said previously. But now what Supreme Court said? Not only showing the criminal cases on the candidates, but also explain why, in spite of having those many criminal cases, why that candidate has been selected, right? This is the first point we have to know with respect to prelims, and that too even in official social media platforms of the parties. In those also they have to upload, right, the reasons why they choose a candidate who has criminal records. This is about the recent Supreme Court judgment, and this is a mandatory rule, guys, that we have to know. Apart from this, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, some percentage of MPs, they have criminal cases against them, right? They have criminal cases against them. So there is an organization called ADR, Association for Democratic Reforms. So this organization gives interesting data about MPs who have criminal cases in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And another important thing in the recent judgment is, if the political parties don't comply with the Supreme Court order, then it comes under contempt of court. That means if any political party, if it fails to update the reason why it choose a candidate with criminal cases, then it will be contempt of court, right? That also the Supreme Court has said. And now with respect to prelims, some committees we have to know. Some committees with respect to criminalization of politics. One such committee is Vohra Committee. Vohra Committee, V-O-H-R-A, Vohra Committee. So this committee talks about criminalization of politics. The second committee is Padmanabha Committee. Padmanabha Committee. This Padmanabha Committee talks about criminalization of police forces because of criminalization of politics. Right? Padmanabha Committee talks about criminalization of police forces because of criminalization of politics. Just go through this report also. And the third committee is Santanam Committee. Santanam Committee, which talks about money and muscle power in politics. Money and muscle power in politics. These are the three committees: Vohra Committee, Santanam Committee, and Padmanabha Committee. And coming to disqualification articles, disqualification of MPs, MLAs articles, now we have two sources which talk about disqualification of MPs or MLAs. We have constitutional sources, that is one source. Another source is Representation of People Act 1951. So according to Constitution, under Article 102 and under Article 191, under Article 102 and 191, we have the disqualification proceedings. So under Representation of People Act, we have various sections which talk about disqualification of MPs, right? Now this can be a question of our prelims, like in this way I will tell you. So if there is a question saying, according to Constitution, which of the following are the methods to disqualify an MP or MLA? So according to Constitution, some rules are there. According to Representation of People Act, some rules are there. if any particular MLA has has been guilty of any such act which gives him punishment for more than some specified time, then he is liable to disqualification. You might have studied about this in polity. This comes under Representation of People Act, right? This comes under disqualification proceeding conditions of Representation of People Act. This was not mentioned in Constitution. For example, incapacity and mentally not fit. These are some conditions which are mentioned in the Constitution. Anti-defection. So defection is also a condition for disqualification, right? Now, where was this anti-defection law mentioned? Anti-defection law or disqualifications based on defections, they are mentioned in the Constitution, not in the Representation of People Act, right? So this is one area where you have to be careful. What are the different conditions under which a particular MP or MLA can be disqualified? Under the Constitution and under the Representation of People Act. If anyone tries to mobilize people to asking them to not vote against a particular religious party, or to not to vote against a particular party, then that is also not correct, right? So this is there under Representation of People Act, not in the Constitution. So in this way, a fine difference is there between what are the conditions in RP Act 1951 and what are the conditions in Constitution under Article 102 and 190. Just go through this, right? This difference at least we have to know. So the second topic is inner line permit. Inner line permit. Now this is important because, as we know, in Citizenship Amendment Act, we have discussed it already. In Citizenship Amendment Act, exemption was given for 6th Schedule areas and ILP areas, right? Exemptions were given for 6th Schedule areas and ILP areas. Now, one area where I am predicting a question is difference between 6th Schedule and ILP area. Here we have to be careful, guys, because these were in the news. Which states come under 6th Schedule? Which states come under ILP, right? What parts of a state are under 6th Schedule? What part of a state is under ILP? Is ILP only for northeastern states, or ILP is there for other states also? So all these areas we have to try to analyze, right? So recently Manipur state got this ILP. We know this, right? Recently Manipur state got this inner line permit. So that is one point we have to know. And what is this inner line permit? This inner line permit is basically a permission. It is a permission for Indian citizens to come and stay in a particular state. This is inner line permit. In simple words, it's like a permission for the Indian state, for the Indian citizens to come and stay or reside in a particular state. This is inner line permit. So inner line permit is only for Indian citizens, right? This we have to know with respect to prelims. So this permission to stay in Manipur or Arunachal Pradesh or Nagaland or Mizoram, this permission under ILP is for Indian citizens. For foreign citizens, we have another permit called PAP, Protected Area Permit, right? So inner line permit is only for Indian citizens. Protected Area Permit is for foreign citizens, right? Because here we have to be careful, because there can be an option saying ILP is for Indian citizens and the foreign citizens to stay and reside in India, right? That's not the case. For foreign citizens, it's not ILP. For foreign citizens, it is Protected Area Permit, PAP, right? So this difference we have to know. And which states have ILP? This also we have to know. As of now, 4 northeastern states have ILP, right? 4 northeastern states have ILP among the northeast states. So they are Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram. Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram. These are the 4th northeast states which have ILP. Manipur was recently brought, right? And what is the statutory backup for ILP? What is the statutory backup for ILP? That also we have to know. So this ILP came under Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulations Act. This ILP came under Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulations Act. Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulations Act. This topic is important for us, guys, because there were many protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act, right? And NRC was in the news, NPR was in the news, Northeast protests were in the news, right? So that's why this topic is important. So this ILP came under Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulations Act 1873. This ILP is not under Citizenship Act, right? If there is an option saying inner line permit comes from Citizenship Act, that is wrong. Options will be like this only, guys, to confuse us, right? This is under Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulations Act. Just try to find out what is this act and why it came in 1873. That's an interesting historical fact. Just try to find about that. So then, what is the difference between 6th schedule and ILP? 6th schedule we have already discussed. 6th schedule talks about autonomous district councils, right? 6th schedule talks about governor reorganizing the 6th schedule areas. That is basically about autonomy in administration to the tribals. We have already discussed in detail the differences between 5th schedule and 6th schedule, guys. Hope it is clear for everyone, right? So 6th schedule talks about autonomy in administration to the tribals, autonomous district councils. ILP is about giving permission for the Indian citizens to stay in the states. That's it, right? So this is a permission, ILP. Now, which states are under ILP? Which states are under 6th schedule? Under 6th schedule, we have already discussed this. Under 6th schedule, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. These are the 4 states which are under 6th schedule. Now the question here is the complete state under 6th schedule or only some parts are under the 6th schedule, right? This is the area where they can confuse us. So under the 6th schedule, if we take Assam state, 3 district councils are there, right? 3 autonomous district councils are there under 6th schedule. However, complete Assam state is not under 6th schedule, right? Complete Assam state is not under 6th schedule. This is first point we have to know, right? And the second thing is Meghalaya state. In Meghalaya state, entire state is under the 6th schedule. Meghalaya, entire state is under the 6th schedule. However, Shillong area, Shillong is in Meghalaya. So Shillong area is not under 6th schedule. Is not under 6th schedule. This we have to know. And Tripura, in the state of Tripura, 70% of the area of Tripura is under 6th schedule. 70%. That means 30% of the Tripura state is not under 6th schedule, right? So this also we have to know. So if we see Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, the complete states are not under 6th schedule, right? And that's why we were seeing protests from Assam, Meghalaya and Tripura during the anti-CAA protests. That is primarily from these 3 states only. If you go through the newspapers, mostly Assam, Tripura and Meghalaya. Here only we can see the protests against CAA. Why? Because complete state is not under 6th schedule. Only some parts are there under 6th schedule, right? So this is one thing. And Mizoram, the complete state is under inner line permit. Complete state is under ILP. And also it has autonomous district councils under 6th schedule, right? On one side, the entire state is under ILP, and on the other side, it has autonomous district councils also. This is the scenario of Mizoram. Similarly, try to find out about the other northeastern states also. So this is one area. What I want to tell you is, so ILP, everyone will be studying, right? ILP, which act it came. Up to this, everyone will study, but this is one area where we have to go a step forward and try to analyze, right? Which state, what it has. Dimapur town, D-I-M-A-P-U-R, Dimapur. So this Dimapur is a city in Nagaland. It's a town in Nagaland. This also got ILP. Previously, Nagaland state, except Dimapur, the entire region was under ILP, inner line permit. But now even this Dimapur town is also brought under ILP, right? So these things we have to be careful. What is ILP? What is Sixth Schedule? Which areas are under the ILP? Which areas fall under Sixth Schedule? Which state has what? Right? All these dimensions we have to be careful. And the next thing is Law Commission. The next topic is Law Commission, 22nd Law Commission. Now Law Commission is important because is it a constitutional body? No, it's not a constitutional body. Is it a statutory body? No, it's also not a statutory body, right? It is just an ad hoc body. Ad hoc. Ad hoc means whenever the government wants to appoint, it will appoint, right? No fixed tenure, and regularly this commission is also not appointed, right? That is the meaning of ad hoc. So this Law Commission is an ad hoc commission, and recently Law Commission, 22nd Law Commission was appointed by central government. 22nd. So under constitutional bodies, under statutory bodies, under that topics, a lot of bodies we have to cover, and Law Commission is one such body, right? We have already covered NHRC, we have already covered CIC, right? So like this we have covered almost all the bodies, CBI, CVC, right? CAG. Similarly, this is one body. So what does this Law Commission do? This Law Commission basically tries to evaluate the laws, right? It tries to see what are the existing laws in India and whether they are effective or not, and whether some changes are required in the laws. So all this is taken by Law Commission, taken care by Law Commission, right? So this is an ad hoc body appointed by central government, and who appoints them? It is the president who appoints them. It is the president who appoints them, and every 3 years our government is appointing the Law Commission. Every 3 years our government is appointing the Law Commission, and its mandate is suggesting legal reforms. We have already discussed this, suggesting legal reforms. And who is the chairman for this? Usually chairman for this is a retired Supreme Court judge, a retired Supreme Court judge or Chief Justice of High Court. This is basically usually the chairperson, right? There is no statutory condition or there is no constitutional provision saying that this particular person has to be chairperson. There's nothing like that, right? Usually this is being done as a convention, right? These are some things we have to know, because any one particular working of polity can be asked as whether it is a constitutionally mandated, or whether it has statutory backup, or whether it is a convention, right? We have to know this. If we take the parliament, speaker usually will be from the ruling party, right? So that is a convention. That is a convention. So in this way, we need to have clarity on what is a convention, what is a statutory backing, and what is a constitutionally mandated thing, right? So this we have to be careful. And the 21st Law Commission, that means the Law Commission previously, just to give you an example, 21st Law Commission has suggested for simultaneous elections. 21st Law Commission has suggested for simultaneous elections. And so in this way, legal reforms and other reforms, Law Commission will be doing. That is its basic mandate. So we will be discussing another commission called Delimitation Commission. This is our next topic. Delimitation Commission. So what is delimitation? Delimitation means changing the limits or deciding the boundaries of constituencies, right? So how the territorial constituencies system is what works in India, right? Whenever we have elections for Lok Sabha or for the assembly, we have constituencies, territorial constituencies. Now this Delimitation Commission is the body which takes care of deciding the boundaries of the constituencies. That is the basic mandate of Delimitation Commission. Now this Delimitation Commission has backing from Parliament Act. Parliament, whenever it wants a Delimitation Commission, it appoints this Delimitation Commission based on Act, ACT, Act. Right? So till now, Delimitation Commission Act was enacted 4 times. That means till now, Delimitation Commission was appointed 4 times. First time in 1952, second time in 1963, third time in 1973, and fourth time in 2002. Fourth time in 2002. So only 4 times till now Delimitation Commission was appointed. Recently in the month of February, Delimitation Commission was again reappointed. For what? For delimitation of constituencies in Jammu and Kashmir and northeastern states. At this point we have to be careful. So recently in the month of February, Delimitation Commission was appointed to take care of delimitation in Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory and the northeast states like Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur and Nagaland. Why special for these states? Special because Jammu and Kashmir is no more a state now. It is a union territory. Previously it was a state. So there is a change. So that's why Delimitation Commission was again reappointed there. And similarly for northeast states, when the delimitation has to happen, because of law and order issues, delimitation did not take place. That's why they are doing the delimitation now. Right? That's why they are doing the delimitation now. Now, Article 82. Article 82 we have to be thorough with. Article 82 says Parliament has to pass an act whenever it wants to appoint a delimitation commission. Article 82. Similarly, we have Article 170 also. Similarly, we have Article 170 which talks about delimitation of constituencies for states. We have Lok Sabha elections and also we have Legislative Assembly elections also. So Article 82 is about delimitation of constituencies for Lok Sabha elections. Article 170 is about delimitation of constituencies for states. Right? And another important point is, when is this delimitation done usually? Usually, delimitation is done after every census. After every census. Because our country goes by the system of one person, one vote. Right? One person, one vote policy is followed in India. So to uphold that, as the population of every state increases, accordingly territorial constituencies borders have to be adjusted. Right? So that's why after every census, after seeing the population of different states, different regions, accordingly the boundaries of the constituencies are drawn by Delimitation Commission, not Election Commission. Right? This point also we have to be careful, because they can say Election Commission of India is responsible for boundary determination for territorial constituencies. No, it is the Delimitation Commission. This we have to be thorough with. And because of some reasons, delimitation was not done after 1972. Right? Just find out what that reason is. I suppose it was covered in polity. If not covered, just Google Delimitation Commission issues. Right? You will get that issue. What happened in 1971? 84th Constitutional Amendment also. 84th Constitutional Amendment 2002. That is also related to delimitation. Just find out what is that constitutional amendment. And with respect to prelims, one point we have to be thorough with is the order given by Delimitation Commission. That is, the decision of the Delimitation Commission cannot be questioned in any court of law. Right? The decision of Delimitation Commission, the order of Delimitation Commission cannot be questioned in any court of law. This is one point which is important for prelims, because they can say Delimitation Commission orders are subjected to judicial review. No, right? It does not, it cannot be questioned in any court of law. So these are all some points about Delimitation Commission, guys.